A lot of men in this generation struggle with discipline, and believe me, I was no stranger to this. There was plenty of occasions, some which I can still remember, where there was either something that I had to do or something that I just wanted to do, but it was as if there was this part of me that would just self-sabotage and keep me from taking the actions necessary. It could be the simplest of things, but it would stop me from taking that actions that would lead to me getting the results that I wanted in life. And it created this level of safe self-hatred within myself. And it just wasn't a pretty situation. In case you don't know who I am, I'm Neal. I've been on self-improvement for quite a bit, and I've raised myself from the level of being a complete loser to actually starting to win in life. And I just want to make some of these videos to help younger guys who are like going through similar situations like me, to help them level up and avoid some of the struggles and, stop suffering like I was. Fast forward to now, I don't struggle with discipline anymore. I mean, I've gotten to a level where pretty much when I say that I want to do something or when I have an intention in my mind, I just know that I'm going to do it. It's no longer a question. I don't worry about, oh, maybe, I might do it or I might not do it. It's just like, I know I'm going to do it. It's a pretty nice feeling because there's a lot more self-love in that. I can, trust myself. I just know who I am essentially, and I know that I can do some certain things. And I believe that one of the biggest reasons that a lot of young men just like fail to have discipline is that they're trying to fight a level 100 boss when they only have level 1 discipline. And, you can think, I'm using this analogy like as a video game because I think a lot of guys can relate to this. It's like, when you're first starting out in the game and you're level 1, you don't expect yourself to be able to beat the level 100 dragon or like big boss or whatever, because you're only level 1. You only have level 1 equipment. You're too weak to like fight that boss. But a lot of like young guys are doing this. They set these really audacious big goals and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go, become a billionaire or a millionaire like within a year, but like they have no experience like being in business, or they say, I'm gonna create this like sweet awesome physique and I'm only gonna do it in 1 year, but they know fucking nothing about fitness. It's like they're setting the bar way too high for themselves and they're not being aware of what level they are actually at. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have these high level like goals and ambitions for yourself, but I'm saying when you start out, you don't want to set those high like standards for yourself or those high goals, because if you do and you expect yourself to be at that level, what you're going to do is try and kill that level 100 boss, but keep dying and keep dying and keep dying because you're not strong enough. And eventually that's going to create this feedback loop where you start to think to yourself that you can't actually do it. You're not going to trust yourself anymore because you say that you're going to do something, but you don't end up doing it. And it's sad because it's like, it's really perpetuated by our culture nowadays where everything is like, be all positive, don't think badly of yourself, set all these high goals, be really ambitious, which is, it's a good message, but people misinterpret it to think that everybody is perfect essentially, when they're not. I know I'm not perfect. I know that there's a lot of things that I have to improve. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit off track. Wherever you are right now, wherever your level of discipline is, you have to understand what level you are at and use what's called progressive overload. It's a like common terminology like in the fitness world. Essentially, you don't start off doing like the highest thing, going to the highest level when you're like only level 1. You just increase slowly. So if you're level 1, you don't focus on the level 100 dragon and fighting that big boss. You focus on, just fighting level 1 monsters or level 2 or like something a little bit higher, but not too far above where you're at. You keep doing this, and over time, you keep leveling up. You keep killing these like smaller monsters. You keep leveling up, and eventually, you can get to that level 100 boss. It's such a simple concept, but I think it's really overlooked by a lot of guys. And unfortunately, like if you're anything like me, you set like these really high ambitious goals and you don't end up achieving them, and you think that something's wrong with you because you keep setting these big goals, you keep setting these high standards and high levels of, or expecting a high level of discipline out of yourself, but you aren't able to do it. It's because you just have to level up. And when you keep doing that, if you keep attacking the level 100 bosses like in this analogy, you keep dying to them, but you don't actually get the experience levels for like doing anything. You just die. So you can't set that really high bar for yourself. Start low. I know it's going to hurt your ego, but just start low and then keep gradually improving, and eventually you will be able to get there. I know that there's going to be a lot of people who, don't want to take this advice because their ego is telling them that, they're only like worth or deserving of like the highest standards, and understand why you might feel that way. And I have like no doubt that eventually you can get there, but you have to be realistic and understand where you currently are and then improve from where you are. Don't expect yourself to become a millionaire in 1 year if you know absolutely nothing about business. You have no idea about like how to manage your money. Don't expect yourself to be able to like go from being a complete introvert who's never talked to girls to being like the fucking Chad who has like 100 girls around him in just 1 year. Like, do the small improvements. Like, if you've never made money online, okay, instead of going for that $1 million goal in a year, okay, maybe you try and make $100 in the first year, and then, the next year you can go for 1,000, like keep increasing. That's like kind of the whole point of this. Know what level you're at and your level of discipline, and just gradually increase. Now, in practical terms, this could mean if you have like absolutely no fucking level of discipline, like you could start off with, okay, just getting consistent at brushing your teeth. Like, this is something that I genuinely had to do. I wasn't consistently brushing my teeth every day. There'd be some days where I just like go to school and like kind of just like use a piece of tissue and like wipe off my teeth because I didn't feel like brushing my teeth every day. You can start with that. Literally just get in the habit of consistently brushing your teeth, consistently, cleaning your room before like it's too messy, or, every time that you wake up in the morning, just make up your bed. You've probably heard of like doing these simple things, and like maybe you've thought that these habits were below you or these disciplines were below you, but really you do have to start with them, even if it seems below you. Just by building that like small level of momentum, what you end up doing is you build that like muscle of discipline, and you begin to start to trust yourself to be able to do like the higher level things. Now, you've watched this far, so I assume that you are fairly serious about your self-improvement. So if you want to, you can click the first link in the description to join our Discord community. It's pretty much just a community of young guys like yourself who are dedicated to improving the quality of their lives, and they just want to level up essentially. So if that sounds like something that's up your alley, you can click the first link in the description to